Good morning. How are you? Today is Friday, the 5th of December, 2025. The time now is about quarter past 11, um, of course, in the morning. And the temperature in the sunshine, it's about uh, I would say 18 degrees, uh, 15, 18 degrees. This morning it was actually down to 3 degrees and very, very, very cold. So I was expecting to actually be inside. In fact, I was expecting to be with Graham today, but Graham couldn't make it. Uh, what's been happening in the world out there? Well, if we start with politics over here in the UK, well, we've given Keir Starmer enough time to uh, to see what his policies are like, and in general, he's carrying on with the same policies as the Conservative government, the last government. I don't know whether you can hear in the background the train line. I tell you, it's really, really difficult to find a place to actually do a podcast in the park without actually being disturbed, or the sun is in the wrong place, or the background. Uh, but we will continue anyway. I like to do podcasts outside. Uh, I can do it early in the morning, and but anyway, today is the day I've chosen. So, Keir Starmer, he's not polling very well at the moment. That's because a lot of people feeling the cost of living crisis, and not only the cost of living, but every function of government has problems. The policing service, the judicial service, the incarceration service, as in prisons, and uh, and that kind of care there. Um, and recently, we've had about two or three. We've had some high um, case uh, people who have actually high profile case people who have actually been let out of prison, or accidentally let out of prison. And funny enough, they ended up in this area. This is the Finsbury Park area. By the way, I forgot to tell you what location it is. It's actually in Finsbury Park. Right, so so uh, so we've been famous here for different reasons. Yeah. So we had a couple of people they let out of prison by accident, and they managed to catch them, high profile people, and they were caught up. One was actually in this park itself, and the other one was in the close proximity of Finsbury Park. So Keir Starmer, um, uh, the public opinion isn't very high. Oh, by the way, David Lammy, whose job it is actually, he only lives close close to this park, around here. He's actually in the park in his earlier days before he got such a high profile job with the Labour Party. Um, he used to spend a lot of time uh, not at not in the park, but working with the park authorities and what have you. Uh, 5 or 6 years ago, we celebrated 150 years of Finsbury Park, and he was one of the main representation for the political aspect of the park, and he was there. I attended one or two of those uh, meetings, demonstrations. They had boards and hoardings and stuff, kind of exhibition in the park kind of thing. So David Lammy is actually was in charge of uh, the Home Secretary. Is the Home Secretary now, so indirectly he's in charge of policing. And it's ironic that the two high-profile cases they had, um, who they let out of prison, uh, actually ended up, one of them ended up actually sitting on a park bench in Finsbury Park, and in the local area, the other one was caught. And David Lammy, connected with the area, um, he only lives close by somewhere. Uh, it all comes together. So it's kind of so. Keir Starmer. Well, at the moment, he's not polling very well because we have so many different problems, and it's because of the lack of money. Recently, we had the budget, which was like last week sometime, and Rachel Reeves. Uh, uh, she's being attacked by all the I guess you call it right wing media. I really don't know what right, left, center. I really don't know what that's all about. But as far as I see politically, if you got a problem, you'll have 5 or 6 different ways of resolving it, and what you do in resolving it is that whatever way you find is feasible to resolve the problem, you use that way. Right wing, left wing, centrist. It doesn't really matter to me. I hope you hear that, because that's the background of the train line there. Right. So the budget now. Everybody. Well, not everybody. Certain members of the press was up in arms about the budget. Oh, she lied. I don't know what she lied about. She didn't lie, as far as I'm concerned. She didn't lie. Oh, it was about the 20 billion pound black hole, or 30 billion pound black hole. Listen, basically, right? The government cannot pay its bills, right? I've been saying that last year before the Labour government got in, right? The government cannot pay the bills, right? The black hole is 2.6, probably 2.7 trillion that this government, well, not the government, the country, is actually in debt to, right? It actually owes 2.6, 2.7 trillion, right? So what that means is that the government still cannot collect enough money, and haven't been collecting enough money for probably the last 10, 15 years. So they have to borrow money. So we in 2.7 trillion, let's say 2.7 trillion pounds in debt from borrowing money. And also the cost of that is the interest rate is on that money is increasing every day, right? So it's not about the 20 billion or 30 billion black hole. It's, for me, it's that 2.7 trillion, even probably 3 trillion, right? Now, what was really rich from my point of view is that the opposition party, the Conservative, and the leader, Kenny Badenoch, and look, I wish her well, but I fear to listen to her most of the time. The rhetoric is just toxic, right? And she was talking about, Rachel Reeves should resign because of such and such. Listen, the Conservatives are like, let's say they're like a thief, and they're calling out to somebody else. They're calling out to somebody else that they've just stolen something, and they're the ones who are the thieves, right? And the person they're calling out that has stolen something hasn't stolen anything. So a criminal person trying to criminalize somebody else, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, at this time now, the 5th of December, 2025, here in Finsbury Park, around 11:30 a.m. in the morning, that has blown over. We are we're talking about different things at the moment today. In fact, I can't even take it on board. I think the doctors and nurses are about to go on strike again for more money, and that is the political what people are politically talking about. But also, in between and the meantime, we are we've been asked to all get digital ID, and the reason they've come in with this digital ID is because of immigration. And so, in order for you to get a job now, you have to show digital ID. You don't have to carry it with you, but you have to show it before you get a job, and that's compulsory. And I think that is in literally now. I think we've got a few months for everybody to get that. Also online now, uh, the under 12s act, which is actually in right now, is that for you to log into any social media site, in order for them to verify your age, make sure you're not under 12, you now have to have some form of verification, which is actual facial ID, or some form of actually some form of facial ID. So all of your online activities now, or all of the places that you have to log in online now, you have to verify via facial ID, and they have other means and methods, but basically it's a facial ID thing that they'll use that to verify whether you're under 12 or what have you. Now, the big news at the moment is that the police are actually using facial ID equipment out on the streets, and they're actually using it in certain places, but also they flipped the script and said, oh, they're consulting the public about it, you know. But as far as I'm concerned, they've always been using facial ID. They've used all form of identification. The police tend to push the envelope of the law. If they win, uh, and the reason they've used is pushing the envelope of the law, then it's kind of justified, but it kind of moves another stage closer to you losing your privacy. So we got facial ID down on the streets. We got digital ID, which is coming in or have come in certain situations already. The youths today to go to the pub or the club or what have you, always have, or even go to the shop to buy cigarettes or alcohol, they have to produce ID, right? So we're now moving to that digital ID very, very slowly, but very, very surely, and various excuses have been used for us to move forward to that. But in America, I have some friends, well, not some friends, I've been listening to some people in America who says, like, next week in Texas, any of your online activity, you have to log in. They have to know who you are. So you're tracked, where you go, what you do, what you see, right? And it's becoming a surveillance society. A lot of people is actually fearful about that. But meanwhile, back in America, Donald Trump has decided to go to war with Venezuela. It's actually blowing up boats who he says are are dealing with drugs, drug running, and they're on the way to America. So not only has he blown up the boats, he's actually killed the people there. So there's a big thing about the rules of engagement, the Geneva Convention about killing people. A lot of people are actually saying that why didn't America actually capture those people on the boats and take the narcotics, uh, add them to prison, bring them to prison, and sentence them, bring them in front of court and sentence them with the evidence. But they've totally, utterly blown them out of the water. By the way, Trump has renamed the Department of Defense to the Department of War, and yet he's actually telling everybody that he's actually stopping war and he wants a peace prize. But as far as I could see, Trump is actually a madman, right? And if you don't get it, that is actually saying one thing and actually doing another. If you don't get it by now, I feel sorry for you in the future. We've just got over Thanksgiving and Black Friday in America. I hear a lot of people are actually saying, look, all the prices has gone up. The only thing that's probably stable and stayed the same and a little bit, stayed the same and stable is actually petrol. Everything else has gone up, you know. And still, a lot of American people are saying, oh, Trump is doing a great job. Things are cheaper. One of the things the American has there's been a massive increase in is healthcare. The cheap kind of healthcare that you get has actually gone up 2 and 3 times the value before. And some people are still praising and saying, oh, Donald Trump is fantastic and he's doing a great job. The other thing also, Donald Trump is actually rolling out home guards in different cities and different districts in America, especially those states which are democratic rather than the Republican states. He doesn't touch, but the democratic states, he's actually reducing funding. He's sending in the home guards, and just a few days ago, last week, a couple of the home guards were shot. One actually died. It was a woman. She actually died. So there are antagonism by sending in these forces. There is actually antagonism with the people. As we come up to Christmas now over here in Christmas, I don't feel there's so much the Christmas cheer this year. But for me personally, what I'm finding in my own personal life, where there are people and systems that's supposed to be there to protect you, a lot of them don't exist anymore, or people are just changing the rule and they're just looking at you like, yeah, what, you know. So it's a combination of many things. So this has been a slight test. What I'll do, I'll formulate, and I would have a more better broadcast for next time. In fact, this is an interesting test today. So from me, right down here in Finsbury Park, until next time, hopefully we'll have Graham's going to be with us, because it's good that we can to and fro off each other and and have a better conversation, whether you like it or what have you. But also, what it is actually marking how I see things, and as it's come to pass, many things that I've seen uh, before it actually happens, I've actually said it. So it's actually about marking that. So from me, until next time, bye for now.